Hi. Ghost Recaps here. Today we will be going through a drama, horror, and sci-fi movie from 2017, named Cargo. There will be spoilers ahead in this video, so chill out and enjoy. At the beginning of the movie, we see a couple named Andy and Kay, who have a 1-year-old daughter. Now the virus has spread completely around the world, making humans zombies in 48 hours. The family is currently safe and has taken refuge on a houseboat in rural Australia. Then Andy sees a family by the river, and when Andy waves to him, a man shows him a gun and tells him to stay away from them. Kay tells Andy that we have very few supplies left and we have to go to the nearest town, but Andy says that we can't go to the shore because it can be dangerous. He assures her that everything will be fine. Then Andy sees a broken boat, and he goes to that boat in the hope of getting supplies. He gets a lot of stuff from there, including a bottle of wine, and then he hears a strange noise from a door. That's why Andy quietly leaves. He tells Kay that I went to that broken boat, from where I got a lot of stuff. He tells her that now we have 3 months of stuff, saying that he leaves, and Kay is looking at that boat. Greedy for more stuff, she goes on that boat alone without informing Andy, but unfortunately, a zombie attacks her. After a while, Andy sees blood on the boat, and when he goes to Kay, she is covered in blood, she is inside the toilet, and she has a bite mark on her knee. Andy gets very upset seeing this, because now Kay has only 48 hours left, and after that, she will become a zombie. But Andy still wants to take her to the hospital because the wound is too deep and Kay will die from blood loss before becoming a zombie. However, Kay wants to leave the boat because she does not want to infect Rosie. But finally, the family decides to leave the houseboat and seek medical help. In the next scene, Thumi, a little tribal girl, is shown doodling in a sketchbook. After leaving her house, she throws a dead rabbit into a pit. She suddenly hears wheezing sounds and puts her hands to her ears. It looks as if she is trying to feed something. Later, Andy had to stop the car because Kay was not feeling well. She was slowly becoming a zombie. She tells Andy to leave me and take care of Rosie because she doesn't want Andy to take her to the hospital. Because she knew that nothing would happen by going to the hospital, she would soon become a zombie, which is why she wanted to stay away from Andy and Rosie. But Andy stands by his decision, and he still wants to take her to the hospital. On the way, Andy becomes distracted by a strange-looking man on the road, resulting in the car crashing into a tree. Hours later, Andy regains consciousness and tries to wake Kay up, but finds that a wooden stick has lodged in Kay's stomach and she has already turned into a zombie. But before becoming a zombie, he had written in his blood to save her. Andy tries to escape with Rosie, but is bitten while attempting to do so. After a few attempts, Andy manages to get out of the car. Andy is horrified. Everything happened so fast that he couldn't understand anything. His wife had become a zombie, and now he was also infected. He knew that he too would soon become a zombie, and here he was worried about Rosie. Before setting off on foot to the destination, he puts on Kay's timer bracelet and straps Rosie to his back. The little girl starts crying, remembering her mother, but Andy quickly calms her down by applying Kay's perfume. During a short rest stop, Andy learns about the man who caused their accident. He recognizes her as a zombie and prepares to defend himself. Suddenly, a girl named Thumi appears and tries to distract the zombie man, who is actually Thumi's father. She requests that Andy stay away from her and cuts his hand with a stone, causing it to bleed. It seems that this attracts her zombie father. Andy reaches a town before evening, enters a school, and encounters a retired teacher named Etta. She helps him wash his wounds and tells him that all the Aboriginal people in the area are gone, including several of his former students. She also requests that he spend the night at the school. Andy sees that the woman is sick and doesn't have much time. Later, Andy sees a fire set nearby by the tribals as well as a woman trying to contact Thumi. The woman was Thumi's mother. Thumi was hiding her father from her tribe because she knew that if they saw him, they would kill and burn him, as they do with every zombie. Thumi loved her father very much, so she wants to save him. At night, Andy has his first seizure due to the zombie effect. The next morning, he wakes up and goes out to meet Etta. Etta gives Andy a photo of Thumi and her father, and the woman tells him to find Thumi and his family as they must be taking care of Rosie. She then advises Andy to stay away from the tribesmen, as they kill any zombies or infected who come near them. After the conversation, Andy leaves. Andy finds a car and tries to steal it, but is stopped by a man named Vic, who is trapped under a tank. He hands Andy the car keys in exchange for a promise that he will save her first. Andy immediately agrees, and after removing the weight weighing Vic down, he starts the car. The two then get into their car and drive away, leaving the zombies behind. Vic takes Andy with him to what was originally a gas plant outpost where he used to work. Vic's wife, Lorraine, is quietly surprised to meet Andy. Vic then tells Andy that you can give your daughter to Lorraine, who will take care of her, as we have to go to work. He takes Andy to a place where he used to keep humans in cages and use them as bait. He shoots zombies when they approach the cage. Vic believes that once the country returns to normalcy, people will crave money again, so his job is to kill groups of zombies and take their belongings. Meanwhile, Andy sees Vic holding Thumi hostage inside a cage and is incensed, but Vic says that you should think about your daughter. That night, Andy walks away, leaving his daughter in the crib, and is about to commit suicide, as he is sure that Vic and Lorraine will take care of his daughter. But Lorraine arrives and tells Andy, "I know why you are doing this, because you are infected, but if you think that your daughter is safe here, then it is not so. Vic is not my husband, he killed my husband and made me a prisoner. I can take care of your daughter, but not here." As they are talking, Vic appears out of nowhere and uses the butt of his rifle to gun Andy down. When Andy wakes up, he finds himself in the same cage as Thumi. Thumi is scared to see Andy, as he was with Vic a while ago. Andy assures her that he will not harm her. He ties the piece of meat lying on the cage with a belt and ties the other end of the belt over the top of the cage. As soon as the zombies approach, he throws away the belt with which the piece of meat was tied, which attracted all those zombies to the belt and started pulling on the belt, causing the cage to rise from one side and Andy and Thumi to escape. They return safely to the shelter and persuade Lorraine to come with them. As they try to escape, Vic appears and begins shooting at them. Lorraine shows herself and tries to stop him, but it is too late as Vic accidentally shoots her. Andy and Thumi manage to escape, but Vic chases after them to catch them, but cannot find them as it is dark, so he goes back. Next morning, Thumi rushes to the place where she used to keep her father. Here she finds her father's clothes, and when she looks up, she finds that her father is no more. In fact, when someone dies in the tribal tribe, they put the dead body on a tree. They believe that this did not disturb the evil spirits who died. Andy wants Thumi to go with him because he wants to reach the river where earlier she had seen a family, but at the moment Thumi was in shock. That's why she doesn't listen to Andy, and Andy then leaves him to his own devices, but she didn't know anything about the way, and now she only had 9 hours left. He then has a seizure, and when he regains consciousness, Thumi is standing beside him carrying Rosie, and she decides to help Andy reach the river. They travel by motorboat to the campground where Andy last saw the family playing. They find and investigate an RV, but find it empty. After that, Andy and Rosie look for the family, while Thumi stays behind. Andy finally finds the family. The man who showed Andy the gun was digging a pit. Actually, he was also infected, and now he was about to kill himself as well as his family. Because he does not want his children to roam around as zombies, he shows Andy his gun and says that he has 6 bullets and that he can use 2 of them if he wants. Andy walks away after listening to him, and then Andy hears the sound of 3 gunshots one after the other, meaning that he had finished his family. And in the end, he shoots himself too. Andy takes his revolver because now he also wants to die, but then Thumi appears out of nowhere and announces that she is ready to return to her home. She also suggests Andy follow her so he can leave Rosie with the tribesmen. Following this, they set out together to look for smoke coming from a nearby hill. As they pass through the train tunnel, Vic emerges in front of them. Thumi hides with Rosie inside a parked truck on the tracks as Andy attempts to distract Vic. Andy shoots rounds but misses each time as the 2 guys become more violent. Vic emerges from the shadows after the brawl and drags Thumi from the truck. He then knocks her head on the rails. He picks up Rosie and comes out of the tunnel. Then Andy comes to him and asks Vic for his daughter. Vic says that you have snatched my wife from me. Now I will snatch your daughter from you. Andy says that Lorraine, you never had a wife. Then he realizes his mistake and returns his daughter to Andy. Then all 3 continued their journey, but Thumi was injured, which is why she was not able to walk. Andy tells Thumi that I cannot reach your clan without your help. I need your help to move forward. Andy was now becoming a zombie, and now he was having seizures. He picks up the piece of meat lying nearby and moves on. The time he had for 48 hours was over. Now he could become a zombie at any time. So he tells Thumi to promise me that you will take care of Rosie after I am gone. Thumi says, I promise. Andy kisses his daughter one last time and says goodbye. Afraid that he might harm someone, Andy covers his mouth with a guard. He then begins to secure his wrists and wraps that meat around a stick he picked up earlier. Suddenly, his eyelids close, and he falls unconscious. Andy has now turned into a zombie, and all his senses are dead. Despite this, he is still carrying both children on his back as the piece of flesh on the stick pulls him down. Eventually, they reach the camp of the Aboriginals. The warriors capture Andy, while Thumi and Rosie's mother praise him. One of the warriors is about to attack Andy with his spear, but Thumi intervenes. She then takes Kay's perfume bottle and gives it one final spritz. Andy is briefly reawakened by the scent, which reminds him that Rosie is now in safe hands. After this, Thumi finally allows the warrior to put Andy out of his misery. In the final scene, the Aboriginal people are shown traveling towards a shelter, where they are warmly greeted by several members of their tribe. Thumi and her mother were examining Rosie when they saw "thank you" written in white on her stomach. The people of the tribe honor Andy with a funeral, as they do with their own. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on notifications, and leave a like to help the channel out. Have a nice day.